Welcome, everybody. My name is Edson, and today I want to introduce myself to you guys and what this is going to be about. I'm going on a new venture here with this podcast. What I want to bring to you guys is deep conversations about youth sports and what's happening. We hear the term daddy ball being thrown around. We hear parents being blamed all the time for teams dismantling. We see kids burning out at younger ages. We see a lot of pressure put on these kids, and I think it's important for us to have honest conversations and discussions about the good, the bad, the ugly within youth sports and the avenues that we can give these young athletes to be better. I'll cover every topic from baseball to softball, soccer, football, and everything in between. We'll highlight Arizona stuff. I'd really love to get to a point where we're sitting down with some of these young athletes and hearing their perspective of it. So oftentimes I feel like they don't get to express themselves and really talk about what they want out of it, what they're looking for, what their journey is. Because the reality is everybody's journey is going to be different. My experience with my club team is going to be different than your experience with your club team. The experience my son and my daughter have with their club teams is going to be different than the experience your son and your daughter has with their club team. So everyone's going to have different opinions. Everyone's going to have different experiences and different suggestions. I think the main thing though is overall is what is it that you're looking for as a parent and what is it that you want to get out of club sports for your child? Is it about winning? Is it about growth and development? And exactly what is growth and development? We hear the term development thrown around a lot. Every coach will tell you we focus on development. But what does that mean? What does that mean at the core to the coach? And what does that mean to you? I think that's the important thing. And I think that's where so much disconnect happens. And unfortunately, we see so many kids going from team to team, never being able to form that bond that they want to form with other kids their age, right? I mean, nothing better than 5, 6, 7 years of playing ball with 6, 7, 8 of your buddies that you guys just become closer friends and have all those experiences to talk about 20, 30 years down the road. So what is it, these buzzwords that get thrown around a lot? I'm going to bring my son on this podcast. He's going to join us on a lot of them. My daughter's going to come on too, and we'll talk to him and we'll hear from him. And what is it that him and his friends talk about? What is it that they like? What is it that they don't like? I think there's just a lot of stuff out there that we can cover. I hope that you'll come back and keep tuning in and hear what we're about. Again, my name is Edson. I coach here locally in Arizona for Mount Magic Baseball. Just got done with the 12U team. We'll be moving on to 13U. My son's been playing club baseball since he was about 7 or 8. Been on 2 organizations. He was one from 6, 7, and 8 years old. Then we went to Mount Magic and we've been there since. My daughter, she plays softball right now. She plays with Arizona Rising on a 2014 team. Her experience has been a little bit different, and this is her third team that she's been with. And again, she's now a 10-year-old, right? So it happens to everybody. There's reasons why you move on or teams break up or whatever the situation is. I think we need to explore those a little bit deeper and really get to the root of what it is that's happening and what are we all chasing as parents? What are we chasing as coaches? What are we chasing for these kids, or are we allowing these kids to be kids? We see a lot of discussion being about parents and living through their children and all that stuff. I genuinely think in my heart of heart that the parents have the best interest at heart of their kids and want to put their kids in the best position possible. Now, where I think there's a lot of confusion, misunderstanding is how good kids are. I think every parent, we've seen it. This is nothing new. This has been going on forever. Every parent thinks their kid is the best. Unfortunately, that's not always true. And it's okay for your kid not to be the best. It's okay if your kid is an average athlete or an average student. It's okay to accept that. There's nothing wrong with that. Find the things that makes your child joyful, gives them joy, brings them joy, makes them happy, and help them get better. Remember, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, they're still trying to find who they are. They're trying to find their identity. They're going to like Hot Wheels one day. They love the Yankees the next week. Then they love the Mets. Then they love Trey Turner. Then it goes to Shohei Ohtani. They're developing. Their brains are developing. They don't really know what the end goal is for them. They're all going to be professional athletes at something. And that's our job as parents, is to help them nurture them and show them the roads. But I think at some point, we also have to be honest with them, right? And let them know, hey, the chances of that happening are slim. Let's work hard. Let's get joy out of it. Let's find some fun. But if we continuously tell our athletes that they're going to be the next Shohei Ohtani, they're going to be the next Jenny Finch, I think we're lying to our children about things like that, especially at such a young age, right? I'm not saying crush their dream, but I'm saying there's a way to encourage kids by also being realistic. And that dives into the main topic of club sports, right? I generally think that a lot of parents move on from different teams because of what they want for their child. Maybe they see their child as a starting second baseman or a starting shortstop, and the club coach is using them more in the outfield or more at third or not as much mound time, yet the parents see them as these certain positions, so they're going around chasing that. I think it's important to understand that coaches are going to ultimately make the final decision, whether it's club level, the high school level, those that are fortunate enough to play at the college level, and so forth. So continuing to move around because your kid isn't where you want him to be may or may not be the best thing. I think the conversations need to happen with coach, find out why you think this and get the feedback from the coach and have open dialogue. I think oftentimes that's one of the big things that's missing in this space is the dialogue between parents and coaches. And when I say dialogue, I'm talking healthy dialogue, not a Monday morning email. Hey, you suck. Why is Johnny batting eighth? He should be batting fifth. And he only played 3.5 innings at shortstop this weekend. That's not healthy dialogue. It's sit down, have a real conversation at the beginning of the season as you're looking to join the team, or if you've joined the team before the season's going to start, and say, hey, coach, I really think Johnny, has been working hard at short. He should be getting some playing time. What do you see for him on this team? Coaches know their roster. I promise you, coaches have an idea of who's going to play where, and they can have that conversation with you. They got to be honest. And coaches, I think you need to be honest, right? When that parent asks you about Johnny, and when your heart of heart, he's fourth on your depth chart as shortstop, let them know why. Explain to them why, hey, Billy's the better shortstop because of this. Johnny could probably get there, but he needs to work on this. These are things that we're going to be working on at practice, and maybe he can work his way up. And parents, it's okay for you to go tell Johnny, like, hey, you want to play shortstop, this is what the coach is letting me know. He's saying you don't know the pickoff plays. Too often time you find yourself out of position. You're not getting to your cutoff spots in time. Your feet are too slow on that ball in the hole. You can't get rid of it quick enough. And now go to work and go earn it. I think that last part of go to work and go earn it, we as parents are so afraid to tell our children that it causes this movement amongst everything of like, we're just going to go to another team. We're just going to go find a team, or I'm just going to start a team and then Billy can be the starting shortstop. There's no age young enough. I mean, realistically, 9, 10, 11, where they understand the game and they understand you got to earn your spot. And hey, if the coach is saying it's your feet work, you're out of position, you don't know your signs, you don't know the pick plays, you can't hold runners on. And when you're holding runners on, you're just camping out behind them. You're not getting back to your spot. Those are all things that are tangible that we can work on, and that you as a parent should not be afraid to have that discussion with your kid and say, hey, this is the reason you're number 3 or number 4 on the depth chart, A, B, C, and D. Now you guys have practice. Show the coach when you guys do practices that you know these things. Let's work outside of practice for these things. Because I promise you, so oftentimes at the youth level, it's the little things that separates an A player from a B player. And those little things aren't the routine ground ball hit at you. Most kids are making those plays or making the same amount of errors on those routine plays. But it's are you there for the cutoff? Can you hold runners on? Do you understand coverages? Are you peeking in to see signs and know what your pitcher's going to throw? And then you can start shifting a little bit. Do you communicate with the rest of your defense, especially at a position like a shortstop, where you're looked at as the captain of the infield and should be the most talkative one in terms of directing traffic and things like that? Are you doing those little things? Are you backing up every pitch? Are you moving around? Are you talking to your outfield? It's so much more than, well, Johnny can field a ground ball and throw him out at first. Yeah, so like 10 other kids can too. but can you do the little things to separate you? And if your coach is really about developing, there we go back to that buzzword. If your coach is really about developing, then we're developing high school athletes and on, they better know how to hold a runner on. They better know pick plays. They better get to their cutoff spots on time. And they better be backing up throws. And they better be the captain of that infield, right? So again, parents talk about, oh, we want our kid to play college baseball. We want them to do this. But then when their kid is not doing this, they just go to another team, right? Or the worst case is they didn't have these discussions with the coaches before the season to find out if this is even a program that you should be in. Is this a program that's doing these things? Is this a program that's teaching you those things? Or is this a program that is every weekend bringing in 3-4 new pitchers to throw as guest players, and now there is no pickoff signs? Like, you don't have a rhythm on, is this pitcher 1 or 2 look? Does he look often? Does he not look often? What is it that I'm viewing as a shortstop to help me be a better player? But you don't build that camaraderie with pitchers that come in and pitch. None of those things should be a surprise. All those things should be laid out on the front end as you're going onto these teams. I know here in Arizona, for example, the season starts about September. Teams usually get out and start practicing in August, but these teams are like forming in May, and late May, everyone's kind of committed to a team before that season's really even over. They're committed to another team already. So while you're doing all that in late May, early June, have these discussions with these coaches that you're thinking about joining, and talk to them about their vision, their strategy. What is it that development means to them? Because I promise you, same goes to parents, same goes to coaches. And that's one thing you'll see through this podcast. I'll be critical of parents. I'll be critical of coaches. I'll be critical of kids. And I think we should be critical, not critical to the point of kids, you suck, but critical to, you have a bad attitude, you're pouting, but your expectations are to be a starter and to be a leader. Well, you got to show that too. I mean, some onus needs to fall on the kids. Not necessarily probably 9, 10, but 12, 13, definitely 14, 15. Now at that point, you better be becoming a leader. You're becoming a young man at that point. But I'll be critical of parents and I'll be critical of coaches. Stop using these buzzwords. Stop this talk just to talk and dig deep, right? I say it in business every day when I'm having conversations with business people that I do. It's, well, let's double click on that, right? Let's double click. So if you say development, I'll double click on the word development. What does that mean to you? Well, we're going to practice and hone in on base running. Well, let's double click on base running. What exactly in base running are you working on? Is it secondary leads? Is it that you're working on reads versus first move when it's a lefty? Like, what are these things? And there's so much out there and so much information that I think parents in today's day and age are armed with so much information going into seasons that they can make very educated decisions for their kids if they really know what they want. I think the problem is that a lot of parents really don't know what it is they want. I want a program that develops, and I want my kid to be top 3 player, and I want to win 80% of the games, and I want to travel all over the country, and I want my kid to be mic'd up every other weekend. Could be on your want list. If those are what you want, then you need to find a team that does that. If you want a team that's going to win at all costs, even that means bringing guest players in every weekend, then understand that. If you want, I want a team that's going to stick together for the next 3 years, and what can we build this team up to be for the next 3 years, then you got to find like-minded parents that also want to see that growth and development. You might eat shit the first year. You might suck. You might play 500 ball. You might lose a lot. But is the team growing? Are the kids bonding? Are they developing a relationship on and off the field? And then year 2, it becomes a 60% winning percentage, and then things improve from there. But more importantly, are you seeing the growth with your kid? Is your kid becoming more confident? Is your kid enjoying the game? Is your kid willing to put in the work? Is your kid understanding the baseball IQ part of the game, which I think we lack so much of in the youth sports today because we just want to go out and play. We don't practice nearly enough as we should. We have a bigger emphasis on games in the youth level now that we do in practice. I think that harms a lot of these kids, especially at like 8, 9, and 10. I tell it to my boys all the time at practices and at games. It's like, hey, in practices, you guys get 100, 150 ground balls, right? When we're ripping out fungo. In the game, you might get 7. You might get 8, 10. I don't know, depending on how many games we play, right? If it's a 4-game weekend, how many are you getting? 7, 8, 9, maybe the whole weekend? So it's hard for you to work on things and get better if you're just constantly playing games versus really being focused in, right? So again, I'm covering a lot right now. I just want to give you guys a full intro. I am going to double click on all of these topics as we move on in this podcast. And again, I'll have guests with me. I want to do a lot of cool stuff. I really want to highlight the kids. I think there's a lot of awesome kids that we have here in Arizona that play some amazing baseball and bust their tails and are super good kids and respectable kids. I've been fortunate enough to be around some of these guys. Some of them I've been able to coach, some of them I have not coached, but I've gotten to know some amazing people in this sport. So to me, like, my passion is the game, my love for the game, but it's really about empowering the kids. And I'm not talking about developing 20 Major League Baseball players. I can give a rip about that. I want to empower leaders that are going to have businesses, that are going to be successful in their craft, are going to be good young men, and are going to be respectable men that give back to society and serve a purpose. Maybe some of them go into coaching and give back. I just think that's where my passion burns. And it's probably for my career and what I do in my real life, not my volunteer job here, which is coaching, but is the development, right? It's when you can look back in 10 years and you're like, man, I had a hand in the outcome of that kid or that young person. Some coaches do it for the money and it's their job, and that's fine. That's the reason their passion still burns and they're still great at it and develop a lot of great quality young men. So no knock on that. But there's a lot of us that do this just for pure passion of the game, pure passion of being around the game and seeing kids grow and helping them grow and excel. That's something that brings them joy. I've met a countless amount of people through this journey, and some really awesome ones, some that I call really close friends, and some that have become like family to me. It's been wonderful. I know my son and my daughter have made great friends through the process. It's super rewarding, but it can be very frustrating. I won't lie about that when it comes to the perspective as a parent. You put in so much, from not just financially. I mean, we all know how expensive it is. You're constantly on the go. So you're investing a lot of it. So I understand why parents are so, I need the perfect situation right now. And I'll just say it, there is no perfect situation. Perfection doesn't exist in this world. I think what that is subjective to everybody. I think we all need to be honest and careful about that, because I think sometimes in the search for us looking for perfection for our kids, we do more damage to our kids than we intend to. And believe me, I've met a lot of parents, and there's some parents that I think are doing a lot of things wrong, and a lot of parents are doing a lot of things right. But even the parents that I think are doing things wrong, by no means are they doing anything malicious. They are just in the moment searching for that perfection without knowing. And I think it's always helps if you've had people that have gone through this. I've seen it. I've been fortunate to be around it my whole life. People that have gone through club sports and where it turned out, and the investment in time, money, etc. Something you do every weekend where you're at. I come from a very big sports family. So this has always been the norm that we're going to be somewhere on the weekend watching sports. I've seen kids excel. I've seen kids quit by 14. I've seen a lot of the errors that maybe it's, I don't want to say newer parents, but parents that are newer to this club world make. And again, it's not any fault of theirs. I never put any blame on parents. I will be critical of them in the sense of they're not understanding what it is that they want. Their motives are good. They want what's best for Billy. They want what's best for little Johnny. They want to ensure that little Kelly has the best time out there and is awesome at whatever it is she's doing. But I think we're rushed, and There's a lot of sales pitches that go into these things. Again, I don't want to continue belaboring it, but I hope that you guys will keep coming back. I'm going to try to do these every couple of weeks with my schedule, but give you guys some feedback. If you guys have some topics that you want to see covered, DM me, send me a message. Would love to hear from you and see some topics that you want covered. I'm going to be bringing on some guests. I want to sit down here with some kids and hear from them and what they're doing, maybe some older kids that have gone through the process. So we'll kind of figure a lot of that stuff out. My son will be joining on a lot of them, as I mentioned, so you'll hear from him. But just really excited about this new venture and just talking to you guys and being a spot for us to share some stories, laughs, some advice, good, bad, or indifferent. I think there's a lot out there we can take. But hopefully it's a place we all come together and share a lot of our stories. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Look forward to you guys continuing to come back. We'll keep diving into it. All right. Thanks.